Hello and welcome to episode number 83 of the Solo Gamer Podcast. I am, of course, joined by my boyishly handsome co-host, Kyle. Welcome into the show, good sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's good to be back.
Good to see you, my dude. It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
Very good to have you back. Taylor, hope you've had a good week, man. Also great to see you. I like the Circa Survive shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, glad to be back. I've had a good week this week, so excited to be back with you here and talk more games.
Hell yeah.
Well, I can't wait to ruin that good week.
You're fucked now.
Go ahead and hit that thumbs down.
I am particularly excited for this week. I have so much to talk about, and I'm excited to just excited to just talk to you guys more about the games you're playing and everything. And obviously, we're going to discuss the Sony State of Play, which surprisingly is worth doing a whole episode for, which I would not have guessed going in. I don't think, but I don't know. I feel like the week, obviously last Wednesday was the week after the Super Bowl, but this week feels to me I'm now over a week out. The football season is over. Like, I'm not spending as much time watching stuff about it. Quite, it's kind of just slowly dissolving. I'm playing video games. February through September is like prime time video game playing. Because I am able to I have more time with the football out of the way, and I also just feel like I get busier in the summer at work, and so even though it's kind of seems like opposite world, I am more homebodied in the summer, and then I'm like traveling more and seeing more family during the holidays with the football and all the holiday season and Thanksgiving, and I'm traveling to Seattle for music stuff, and so it's like it's all just a little bit more busy usually. So now it's like all I'm doing is the music stuff like once a month, and that's it. And I got to stick around. I can't take a lot of PTO. I'm saving up my PTO for wedding and honeymoon and all that stuff, which is at the end of the year. So I don't know. I feel like I'm in prime, like really jumping into games now for the rest of the majority of the year. How about you guys? How's the obviously we'll get into what you're playing. But Kyle, are you feeling like you're more poised to start jumping into the bigger games again and start playing more, or how's life in that way for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I will say though, this last weekend I was just kind of like surprised I had so much time that I just wasted away for the entire time. Just sitting there. It almost
takes practice.
Yeah. This is like, okay, well, what do I do now? There's no football.
Well, there's sometimes too where you just get so overwhelmed with choice, that you're just like, I could do so many things right now, so I choose to do none of them.
Yeah, I get that quite often, actually. It's pretty surprising.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. Don't know what to do.
Analysis paralysis, as they call it.
But yeah, looking to, find a new place, move out, all that stuff. So I've been kind of busy doing that a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Figuring that out. But I mean, that doesn't really take that much time. I think most of it was just me just not really knowing what to do with myself on a Sunday. But yeah, definitely a lot more time. I'm excited to kind of start getting back into gaming. I did, play Divinity Original Sin 2 and finish that, and then immediately started a second playthrough.
Nice.
Or I guess I should say third at this point.
Technically, right?
Yeah. This time, instead of the all physical damage, of course, I'm going to go all magical damage and see how that works out. Just kind of how my kind of math brain works. I'm like trying to do it another way, and I don't know. But and I also started to get, make some headway in Arcane as well, it's a lot of fun watching it the second time and kind of seeing the things that I didn't really notice was some form of foreshadowing and stuff like that for later on. So it's been really fun, watching that second time around.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm not super far, but I've watched a few episodes and really liked what I've watched and excited to finish that up and dive into it. I mean, I'm gonna need to take some notes or something to like remember episode by episode kind of a thing. just so that I don't come into having only seen it once. Like, oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah, pretty
Those
good.
magic-
Thumbs up.
Those magic blue balls are pretty explosive,
Why I couldn't tell you.
man. Those actually, I will say. Well, I should save it. Never mind. I was going to say something about the art style, but we'll get into that when we get into the show. Yeah, I like. I don't know. I'm a very structured person. I wouldn't call myself overly organized. Like sometimes my place can get like a little messy for a bit, but it always bothers me and I clean it up. But like I'm not right on top of everything all the time. But as far as being motivated to do stuff goes, it helps if it's within some kind of structure that I can understand and plan for a little bit. And that can be a positive or a negative. It's a negative with like working out, because obviously life doesn't work that way all the time. So you have to figure out ways to work around changing stuff happening and continue to work out and continue to do those things. And I do struggle with that. And when things are smooth sailing, I'm really good at sticking with it, because it's like, okay, this is part of the structure. Every day I'm going at this time and I'm doing this over and over. And I'm kind of like that with games too, going into the rest of this, or most of the rest of this year into the fall, where I have the games I'm playing and I kind of know what I want to get out of them, and I'll finish it, and I'm going to have a feeling like what I'm going to want to do next. And just the way I can kind of fit it in, I usually have 2 games going at once, depending on how much time I have. And man, it is amazing the difference of no football.
Yeah.
It really does change up the weekend, the feel of the weekend and everything else. Even when I have to work, I'm working this coming weekend, but as soon as I'm caught up and things aren't crazy, it's not like I have a whole day planned away and I'm making food, I'm going to my brother's house or having people over. It's like none of that stuff. So I'm ready to start. I feel like the what we're playing section is going to be a lot more entertaining for the next good while. What about you, Taylor? How are things going? Have you gotten some more time to play some of the games that you have on your list? You like, as far as just hours spent?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like last week I was putting a pretty good amount of time into some stuff. This week I have one of my best friends in town, so I've been kind of hanging out with him over the last week or so, but still have gotten a really good amount of gaming kind of in here and there. I've been like really addicted to Oblivion again, actually.
Nice.
Like I dipped back into it and kind of found a good pocket with my most recent character, who's my dark elf rogue, and just been loving playing that. I like just went through like the Thieves Guild storyline, which I think in my previous playthrough, like a way long time ago, I never finished that quest line, so it was kind of cool to see the end of that and started the Dark Brotherhood and stuff like that. So I've just been into Oblivion, man. It's been so fun. I love it.
It really is like a vacuum. It just once all the Elder Scrolls games feel that way. Like once you get into a character and you're enjoying the time spent, it's like, man, you just lose days.
I know. It's crazy. My only thing is the only thing about playing like a rogue or like a stealth archer character is I love using daggers in like for those particular characters, and it really sucks in Oblivion how like they didn't make it so you can dual wield your daggers and stuff. So that kind of takes the fun out of it. I feel like if you just you're armed with one dagger, I feel like Bilbo Baggins, poking people as a burglar, instead of like a cutthroat assassin with 2 crazy like blades, So
well, it depends on. I think if do you also have the archery skill as well?
Yeah,
because like the thing that I liked was if you get good enough at sneaking, that critical damage. If you get the daggers are just great for that, because if you're hitting someone from sneak, they're dying instantly. Once you're to that level. So it doesn't, but if you're in straight up combat, it does feel kind of silly having the one when you can have the 2.
It is. It's also kind of one of those things too, where the stealth in Oblivion is so finicky too, that it's like, it's really difficult to kind of figure out like who, like what's going to cause me to be seen and what isn't. Like I have the Dark Brotherhood like garb on right now, which I think gives you like some kind of buff to sneak, but
Yep.
even then it's kind of difficult to tell. So, and I don't know, just aesthetically I've loved the double dagger kind of build. I just think it looks really
very cool. Yeah, it looks awesome. I can't remember. I know it's in Skyrim, but I don't know if the spell is in Oblivion. There's a spell in Skyrim. I think it might be Alteration or it's Illusion, maybe, where it's like Lightfoot or whatever, and it makes you move even more silently. You can just completely muffle the sound of your feet moving, so you can like walk around and people can't hear you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's in Oblivion or not, but
I think it is. I was trying to find the invisibility, like use invisibility on self or whatever it was too. I don't think my magic is quite high enough on this character yet to get it, but that's kind of what I'm going for next.
Heck
very
yeah.
cool. Yeah,
I've been thinking about starting to play through for my work background game.
There you go.
Yeah, it's perfect,
Yeah.
especially since you played it quite a bit. You know.
Although the bummer of that is like I don't get to turn up the music, so
right. Oh,
that's
God,
such a big part of it.
So good.
Yeah.
The music is really nice, no doubt. I suppose you could go like what you have like one headset like this,
One
Yeah.
ear.
and then you have
One
your
on,
work
one off.
That would be so funny.
it's you got Oblivion in one ear and somebody else in the other.
It'd be hard to be mad with Oblivion music in the background.
True enough. And then like some like jerk gets on there and it starts the combat music. The vum,
That's pretty great, actually.
da, 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 da. Yeah, Oblivion's great. I was really getting into it there a couple weeks ago, before I randomly started Morrowind, which is, we'll see how that goes. But okay, so I need to hear another. I don't know if you've had time. Any progress update on Star Wars Outlaws?
Yeah, I've played probably like another hour or so of it. Gotta be honest, I think I'm kind of close to bouncing off of it.
Ooh.
I got to like a really cool section where there was a really cool set piece. Like I'm going through this one quest with Crimson Dawn right now, which is really cool. And the carrot on the stick for me with that whole thing is I want to see if they're gonna have Maul show up.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
So I like that's kind of the one thing that's making me stick through it is because I've caught like a couple little Easter eggs maybe and some mentions of him there. So I kind of want to see him in the game first until I like truly drop off of it. But yeah, I think I'm at the point now with Outlaws where I think it's a fine game. I just think it tries to be too many different things at once. Like it tries to be too many different kinds of games and ends up not satisfying the need for any of them. Like they have little stealth sections and the stealth sections are really not that well thought out or good. And so it ends up kind of falling on its face there. And then the actual like combat sections, I feel like if you're using a blaster and you like get in combat, like there's really like no danger and you can just kind of shoot guys in the head. Like it's really easy to just blast them in the head once and they go down. So that kind of makes the combat challenges not really all that engaging either. So it also kind of fails in being like a good third person action game. So I like the main character. I think Kay Vess, or I think that's what her name is really good. But yeah, I don't know. I'll maybe give it some more time. I'll give it like another week, see if it hooks me, see if I can get further in the Crimson Dawn storyline. But yeah, I'm not really all that impressed with it, to be honest.
Dang,
brutal, man. The thing is, I was never under the illusion that you were going to come into this show at one point and be like, Star Wars Outlaws is my favorite Star Wars game
of the
all
year.
time.
Yeah.
Like, I never expected that, but there's plenty of space between that and what you're talking about that I was sort of hoping it would be like Assassin's Creed good.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No. I don't even think it really satisfies that. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's just fine. Like it's a fine game. I think that at the deep sale that I bought it on was absolutely like it's worth that price, you know, for
Yeah,
like the
same.
10 to 15 bucks or whatever it was I spent on it to like just give it a try. But um, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's no Jedi Survivor or Jedi Fallen Order. Like that's far and away, I think, the best new age Star Wars game. And yeah, I would say it's doesn't meet that mark, unfortunately.
I don't think
It's
anything's been
amazing.
close for a while, huh?
That's exactly what I was just thinking. Like, it's incredible how Star Wars video games have just been not great for. I mean, even the Jedi games are very good, but they're not like all timers.
No,
No.
I mean, I don't know. Fallen Order. I think the first one. I think if I was gonna make like my top 10 Star Wars games, it might be in that top 10, but like maybe in like the 7 to 10 kind of
Sure.
range. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, I mean, Survivor was good too, but it also suffers from kind of the same sequelitis that I think like a lot of the PlayStation properties do, where it was like the first one I think is really really novel and doing something really interesting and different, and then the second one is kind of like more of the same but not as good. Um, it just seems like a lot of games I've been playing lately, that second entry is just not doesn't line up, you know.
What do you want from a sequel? Because I feel like it's easy to go in both directions as negatively as far as like, oh, they changed to. It's sort of like music, like your favorite bands. It's like the next album comes out or the sequel to a great game comes out. And what I find is the complaint often is either it's too similar or they changed everything and I don't like it as much.
Yeah.
What is the balance that you like? What's a good example of a sequel recently within the last like 10 to 15 years
Hmm.
um, of a game that for you or a couple examples or whatever that did the like towed that line properly.
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. I think from my perspective, a lot of these sequel games, I think, do a lot different on the gameplay side of things. Like, I think you'd be hard pressed to like. I would be hard pressed to say that like Jedi Survivor doesn't do combat and mechanics and gameplay better than Fallen Order. I think it really just kind of comes down to the story. Like, I felt like the story in these second entries has just been less compelling.
Yeah.
Like the story in the first God of War, for instance, with like Kratos and Atreus and like their interpersonal relationship and their father son drama, I found to be like really really compelling.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the thing that like catapulted me through the whole game. Like I wanted to see like how that relationship developed, and like I found it to be really really well written. And then in the second one, it just kind of seems like they don't really have a ton to do. So they introduce all of these new characters and like new Norse gods, but there's not like a ton of like emotional resonance with like their storylines. One game that I can think of, like as you were asking me the question, I already thought of like the sequel that I think like right off the bat does both of those things really well is like The Last of Us Part 2. Like I
Oh
just feel
well.
like not only does Last of Us Part 2 do gameplay way better than the first one in my opinion, it also tells like a more emotionally engaging story from my perspective. And so like it's a hard bar to clear, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, like I don't know, I just think that these second entries just haven't been like compellingly written or told like a story that's been as engaging as the first one.
I think the time between those two games played in their favor when it comes to The Last of Us. But I totally agree with you. I think that's kind of what God of War was missing. I also, to be fair, I feel like just how the premise of the story of the first, newer God of War game is like, how do you continue this after that? That's my thing.
Yeah.
Is like, how do you make a continuation of this? Because so much of this was just built on the character arc of Kratos with having to be a single father and dealing with the loss of his wife that he loved so dearly that clearly had a major impact on him and brought this vulnerability out of him that his son continued to kind of carry the torch with. I think that's the whole premise of the story. And then you get to the climax of it at the end of that first game. So it's like, where do we go from here in game 2? I mean, I feel like we've seen the whole character arc. There's nothing left to experience with Kratos at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it becomes more about Atreus, it seems like.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
having not beat it, it's becoming Atreus. Like, how does Atreus deal with being a half demigod, a demigod or whatever, and like as he's getting older and he's dealing with basic stuff like puberty, but he's also a god, so he can turn into a bear, and like these like whole sort of some interesting things on paper, but then it's tough to do that and still have stakes, because there was stakes in the first game where they were being hunted and there was other things going on in the world, whereas it just as far as I got, it was so long in between major plot points in God of War Ragnarok, where I was just walking around a fucking cave for like 2.5 hours of puzzles and combat rooms,
Lots
and
of puzzles.
puzzles and combat rooms.
Yeah.
And it was just like, where is this going? What are we doing? And so I'm excited to eventually, I am going to go back to it. I'm going to start it over and just try it again. Fresh start. But that'll be a little ways later this year.
I will say though, contrary to that, I actually think Jedi Survivor was a pretty good sequel in my opinion. I do think the first one's better. I think it's hard to, when you create a pretty good game to like that's like purely based off of the story. I think it's really difficult to kind of continue that story and make it as equally as impressive or better. So, but I will say that I didn't walk away from Jedi Survivor being disappointed.
Neither did I.
I didn't either. I was gonna say, like, by no means are like any of those games like Ragnarok or Survivor, like, no, by no means are they like bad games. It's just like the sequel I feel like falls a little flat for me.
I think what played into that too, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It's the same. It's similar to what God of War 2 kind of went through, and these are very similar games, play style and everything. By the way, it's pretty impressive how closely relatable they are. To me, it's just like the constant the mass addition of just a bunch of stuff that doesn't need to be in the game.
Yeah.
Same with God of War. Too many puzzles, too much shit I have to do to like get to the story, which is ultimately what I want. And then same thing with Jedi Survivor. I felt like they added a bunch of stuff like assassin contracts and stuff that was kind of similar to that Lord of the Rings game. What's that really popular one that's got the you get where he like has like kills like some the orc leaders and stuff like that. And
Shadow of Mordor. Oh God,
yeah.
That game is
So Jedi Survivor has a kind of a flavor of that aspect into the game. And then it's just a bunch of like collectibles and like extra stuff, like you can have your own garden and stuff. It's like, all right, I don't need this. Give me the story,
Yeah, just stick with the linear storytelling and the hub worlds and all of that. Yeah, like the little open, just sort of the addition of like the open world thing, where we're gonna like semi open worlds where you can just run around. It's like I just went to the next objective every time. It's like I don't want to do all this.
I'm not trying to platinum it. I just want to see the story.
Yeah, it just didn't need that. It felt like they were like, well, it's a sequel, so it's got to be bigger in scale. And it's like I kind of want the same experience. I want a bigger, grander story that's opened things up more. Maybe something a little bit more impactful to the overall Star Wars universe and that timeline that they're in, or something like that. But yeah, it was good. I'll be excited to play that again. Play through both of those games at some point. Like those would be a fun experience point, maybe a year or two down the road, or maybe they'll announce the third one eventually, and we can do the experience points for those prior to the third one launching or something. Because I'd like to play through them again, because I've only played through each one once, and kind of around when they first came out, and that was it. So that'd be cool.
That's fair.
Speaking of really good sequels, I have so much to say here, and we got to go. I know we got to talk about State of Play, so I'll try and wrap it up. I am playing Horizon Forbidden West. I'm like 3 hours in or so it's still pretty early. Okay, before I even get into this game, I don't. Sometimes this could just be my own, my myopic view of things, because I don't talk to as many people who play video games anymore. It's like the two of you and a little bit of chat on Discord or whatever. But I don't know almost anyone that is like a Horizon fan.
Mm.
Do you guys know? Like, do you know anybody that? Do you have a friend that's like, I love this game?
You.
Well, yeah, me. I would feel like even I am not. I wouldn't even say that. Like, it's not like I've been out here like, Kyle, you've got to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
No. I mean, it's one of those games where like, dude, you should definitely play this game. But yeah,
I know one person I think who I would consider like a Horizon fan. Yeah.
So this is one of the few games that I remember really liking the first one, and I did not replay it prior to playing Forbidden West. I just watched like a 25-minute recap on YouTube to just make sure that I remembered the main characters. I was like, oh yeah, all the way through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, based on that, how many, and don't look it up. If you know it, you know it. But how many copies would you guess Horizon Forbidden West has sold since launch?
Let's say 5 to 6 million.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was gonna say like 2. I was gonna go low, but
8.5 million copies sold. This game is a fucking juggernaut.
Yeah, it's huge.
This game is massive.
Where's Last of Us 2 at for comparison, I wonder?
Yeah, let's take a look.
I want to say that was like 15.
All we have is surpassed 10 million.
Okay. Yeah.
So we don't know.
Does that take into account because I feel like both Horizon games were really marketed with the PlayStations as they were being sold.
When did Horizon Zero Dawn come out?
It wasn't the first Horizon
2017, I think. First Horizon came out
Didn't that
4
come out,
years after the launch of PS4.
But it came out as like a package deal of like a PS4, I believe.
Oh, maybe, but it was 4 years after the launch of the console. Sure. It wouldn't really matter. Horizon was just a big, it was Guerrilla's first non-Killzone game. And it was excellent. I think the reason I'm even bringing this up is because I'm playing Forbidden West now, and I'm a few hours in. I'm like, how did I forget how fucking good this game is? These games are so good. And Ashley Birch, her vocal performance, like I wouldn't say the writing is particularly strong in either of the Horizon games. Like it's very kind of it's like a little better than Assassin's Creed. As far as like they don't do a great job of providing subtext. There's not, like moments between characters where like a Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption or whatever, where you see maybe a character's about to say something, but they don't, because these things that you pick up on that make really good performances, make very human performances.
Yeah.
A lot of these games, a lot of game writing is very like, here's your exposition, and everyone is just explaining exactly how they feel and exactly what they think about everything. That's definitely in Horizon a lot, but
for sure,
I will say Aloy, very underrated character. And even by myself, like I'm playing this again, I'm like, I love this protagonist. I think Ashley Birch does an incredible job. I enjoy how every now and then you can kind of select the way you want her to respond to something, kind of sort of like Mass Effect, but it only lets you do it sometimes, and it kind of colors the way she responds and sort of the way she is throughout the game. It's kind of a sort of a middle ground between not being able to choose dialogue and choosing every little line of dialogue. And it's kind of fun, and this game is so fun. It's so stupid fun. Shooting these robots with your bow and arrow and the different bow and arrow types and the poison and setting the traps and stealthing around and running. And I like how much some people don't like this. I enjoy how much Aloy speaks as you wander around the world, as someone who's very guilty of talking to themselves. it's very relatable, and she's kind of like, you spend a lot of the time just out in the open world, just running around, and she's constantly giving her observations of things, and I find them to usually be interesting or funny or charming. I'm just having a blast. It's fucking gorgeous. Oh my God, this game is so beautiful. Game. It's easy to play. It's fluid. It's fast. It's action packed. It's simple. It's just great. It's so good. And Horizon Zero Dawn is so good. And I just hadn't played it in a long time. And it took me a couple hours to kind of get the feel of it again. And I kind of like MIB pen flashed myself with Horizon, I think. And I feel like it gets a lot of shit online.
For sure.
And I don't really get it. I guess I understand that it's not Last of Us from a storytelling perspective, but that's a weird bar, I think.
Yeah.
To hold every game against.
I mean, a lot of games are pretty trash if that's the case.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a weird thing to hold it to, but my God, so I'm kind of coming back around. I'm like, actually, Kyle, they did a remaster for PS5 of Zero Dawn. Like, if you have some time, man, I'd play that because I forgot how good these games are. Like, they're really, really fun.
I remember awesome. I started like the first 30 minutes of it. And I don't remember the reason, but I stopped playing it. It was a few years ago.
I think it was like when we were.
It's not because I wasn't enjoying it, but like something happened.
Well, 30 minutes is a classic bounce off time period. Like, there's been plenty of games that I end up enjoying that I played for 40 minutes and for some reason just wasn't in the mood, or it wasn't the right time, or I got distracted by something else, or I tried to start a game when I was halfway through some other game. There's a million different reasons why. But man, yeah, if you get a chance, maybe I would love to know what you think of this game, because it was sort of like kind of just receded to the back of my mind. And just, this is the first time in a while, probably since, I hope I'm not forgetting something, but probably since Cyberpunk, where and I'm not saying it's as good as Cyberpunk, but just like as far as like when I'm not playing, I'm like, I'm like really looking forward
thinking
to
about it.
Horizon. Yeah, I can't wait. Like, I really want to get back.
I love that feeling.
Upgrade my weapons and find all the, like, just all the little, like, just picking up stuff off of the robots. Everything is so useful. All of the shit you pick up is used to make all of the ammo types and used to upgrade everything and used to like, and the little side missions and errands and stuff that you can do while you run around doing the main quest in the open world really pay off. You get skill points and valuable loot from everything. It really rewards you for just running around. Even though it's like the best example of a Ubisoft style checkbox game, but really understanding what makes those fun, because I feel like I kind of in my head I think of those games as like full of chores that I don't want to do, and I just want to do the main story. But Horizon is like, oh no, we can simplify this and actually you're going to want to check out all the question marks on the map, and there aren't too many, and they're all actually pretty interesting, and they'll all pay off in some way or another, and you'll be glad you did it, because now I've got 3 or 4 extra skill points, and it only took me 20 minutes, and I've done all this side content and run around this gorgeous world, and I'm taking pictures in photo mode, and I'm just like, oh man. I fucking love these games. I kind of like completely forgot. It's like turned a whole part of my brain on. I was like,
also,
that's why I have an Aloy statue that I paid money for. I love this character. I love this game and this world. It's just so good.
I truly appreciate games that are just like where the universe is truly unique. You know, there's not really another game out there that looks like Horizon.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I always appreciate games that are like that. It's kind of a standalone universe that really stands out.
Agreed.
Yeah, very good point.
I can't wait for you to get to like the like tail end of it, like the last act or so. The story goes like where you would not expect in it, and I'm very excited to see your response to it.
Yeah, I like
as you play through it, you'll have to keep us updated, kind of where you're at.
I've always liked the concept of Horizon, and like in the beginning, and I won't spoil anything if you decide to play it, Kyle, but the concept of like how they got there makes sense and is really interesting, and like you said, it's a very unique world that they create. Some of the ways that they get there through the story isn't great because some of the voice acting is kind of up and down. Obviously, thankfully, Ashley Birch does really, really good. It's Aloy, and Lance Reddick is in this game. He's in the first game as well. He's not a villain necessarily, but also not really a good guy. He's one of the more interesting
anti-hero
characters.
territory.
Yeah, you never really know what's going on with him. He helps you, he hinders you, he helps you again. You're never really sure. But he's phenomenal. Lance Reddick is so good. Like as soon as I was just getting hit with waves of like memory and just great feelings and that his character shows up in the second game, and I was just like, oh man, Silence. Like I just felt like I was seeing all these old buddies that I had just completely forgotten about. I don't know. I just sort of that game kind of went dormant in my brain. I never really thought about it. I always remember, I like it. I'll play Forbidden West, and then now I'm playing it. I'm like, why did it take me so long to get to this game? Oh my gosh! So very excited. It's a good way to kick it off as far as like gaming for this year. So yeah, loving it so far. I'm excited to keep playing. Okay, so we'll do a little setup here for our State of Play review, if you will, review discussion for State of Play. We have a couple of write-ins. We were discussing a bit before the show. It's kind of how we were going to go through this process. I'm going to kind of combine something you were talking about, Taylor, with what I was talking about, and we'll outline that here in a moment. What I found most interesting and surprising about this is that, so for anyone who's listening, you may or may not know how Sony does this thing. So they generally will have 2 to 3 state of plays throughout a year, which are generally smaller, 25 to 30 minute little check-ins. And they'll announce smaller games, and they'll kind of talk about games they've already announced. Maybe there'll be gameplay updates or whatnot. They're usually kind of the last, I don't know, several have been pretty underwhelming and full of like gotcha free-to-play gambling Korean and Chinese and Japanese online like games and stuff.
Genshin slop. Yeah,
like these free-to-play games that steal your money, and multiplayer games like some kind of weird Fortnite thing or Call of Duty thing, and then they'll show 1 or 2 interesting, but they've really not been very interesting. And then during the kind of quote unquote E3 time, like in June, Sony will do a PlayStation showcase, and those are usually the really big hour plus episodes that have the really big announcements or updates for their tentpole titles or big third-party titles that are going to be coming out soon. Like those are like the big, you wait all year for the showcase.
Yeah.
So this State of Play was an hour long and probably had like a half dozen announcements that were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What did you guys, I went in expecting nothing, so maybe that was part of the help, but Kyle, we watched this together over the weekend. Just sort of like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You want to watch it? All right, cool. And then by the end of it, we were pretty surprised. Like, what did you think, just kind of overall, before we dive into it, just your impressions and your takeaway from everything?
Yeah, I think it's very similar. Didn't really have high expectations. I've never really been blown away by the PlayStation State of Plays. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see a lot of, major either announcements or, further content, release about a game that's already been announced. Stuff that I was truly interested in. I think it still had a lot of the same old stuff that, you and I typically just fast forward through. But yeah, man, just
know, right?
quite a few of them. I can't wait to kind of get into these individually. But yeah, pleasantly surprised by all this.
Yeah, me as well. I feel like even the internet was pleasantly surprised, which means you did something right. Taylor, what did you think about this State of Play?
Yeah, I think I echo pretty much everything Kyle was saying here, and generally, like you said, Ian, too. A lot of these for the last like probably year or two have been pretty underwhelming. Like worth watching for maybe an announcement or two, but nothing like super substantive. But yeah, I feel like, and especially like on the first party side of things, I feel like PlayStation first party has kind of like they'll have their one or two big games that come out per year, and they may talk about like one of them, but a lot of it I feel like has been very third party focused, and you could watch that at the Xbox Direct or whatever. So you're not really getting like a super exclusive look at any of like the third party stuff that they announce. But yeah, I went in with low expectations for this one. I actually didn't even know that this was happening until like a day after it aired, I think. So I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know there was a state of play. So it was kind of a pleasant surprise. It gave me something fun to watch on a Thursday or whatever it was when it came out. So um, yeah, really, really liked this showcase. And yeah, like you said, I mean, there's several announcements that I were really excited about. So we're excited to jump in and talk about it.
Taylor, you were the one that said that was out in the group chat, I think, right?
Yeah, like I was just like, oh, I didn't like. It was kind of one of those
That's
things where
when
it, like,
I found out. Then
it like popped up on my YouTube as like, oh, uploaded like a day ago, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I haven't been listening to as many gaming podcasts lately. That's probably something I'll start doing again. I kind of go back and forth. Half the year is football, half the year is gaming stuff. So they're usually the ones who keep me updated on these things. So
I was gonna say too, I feel like I was more like up to date with a lot of these press conferences too when I was using Twitter a lot more often. And as you know, Ian, I've switched over to Blue Sky, and there are some of those companies that are getting their Blue Sky accounts kind of spun up now. So like I used to see like the PlayStation Twitter account post like, hey, we're gonna have a state of play, on XYZ day. So I would just add it in my calendar right after that. So it's probably the lack of social media, like looking at the social media too, that's like some of these creep up on you and you don't even know.
Yeah, it does. It happens quick. I feel like I've just become slightly less up to date and on the ball as I've gotten a little bit older and had a little less time and been more focused on playing some games from my backlog than playing the newest thing. So it's like I can kind of just whatever. I'll watch it later. It's the same way with new games. I'm just kind of like, all right, I'll play it eventually.
Yeah.
So I feel like some of that is just I'm not looking for it anymore either. So that's part of it. So I have a list of games that basically it's in order how they are announced. Taylor, you were mentioning that when you were watching, you were sort of categorizing some of these games, right?
Yeah. I basically kind of broken up all of the announcements into a couple different categories. So I have my top tier announcements under highly anticipated, highly all capitalized. So you know that it's very important.
Big time.
So those are right up at the top. I have kind of a middle section, which is like I'm interested in this. Like, this is probably a game I'll get to like eventually, but I'm not like some of these are kind of like day one. Like I will be like the top tier ones. I will be there day one. These other ones are kind of like you said. Like I'll kind of get to it when I get to it. I'm interested in it, but maybe not as like a day one purchase. And then I have the very bottom announcement of just like really not interested in this. Don't care. Like really wasn't interested in what I saw. So that's kind of how I broke it up in that 3-tiered system.
Okay, so we'll all do that for each game after once we bring it up because I don't want to spend really any time on something that none of us care about. I'll just move right on past it. There were even a couple I think that got shown off that Kyle and I fast forwarded through. Because it was like it was like 11 o'clock at night when we were watching this thing. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
That's gotten to a point where we're so in sync that Ian doesn't even check with me. He just starts fast forwarding.
Knows, yeah.
He's just like, we're moving on.
It's like, I think we're okay. I can just feel it in the room,
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you're like a teen and like you're watching a movie with your parents and like a sex scene comes on. Is that weird? Like everyone is equally uncomfortable at this point. Like
Yeah.
Kyle and I are just sitting there, and I can just tell both of us are like, "What the fuck?" Moving on. Like, we're moving on here.
For you guys, I'm sure the instant you see there's any trace of an anime character, it's getting fast forwarded. They ain't even got a chance.
Sometimes it's like the like first character will like say something, and we're like, yeah, no,
Yep. Yeah.
They don't even
hit the big red button.
they don't even have to say anything. All I need is that little.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, no.
I just picture you're like Jabba the Hutt, and as soon as the anime character walks up, you hit the button that drops the trap.
Yeah, you
pretty
see
much,
the Dragon Ball Z like Vegeta type hair, and you're like, no, I think we're good here.
Yeah. Pass. And then there's me at home separately from you guys, be like, oh, this looks pretty good. Yeah, I'd be interested in this.
Yeah, pretty much. That's great. So I'm actually going to start with our first write-in because it's about the first game announced. So
Nice.
Craig's Gamer Room wrote in. He said, insanely excited for the new Kena game. Bridge of Spirits is one of the most underrated games of all time. Absolutely beautiful and insanely fun to play with a touching story. I also picked up the Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition when it dropped the next day. Rayman was a game I could never beat as a child, and as an adult, it's still one of the hardest games ever made. Thanks to the power of save states, I was finally able to finish it as an adult, and it was great to finally see it through to the end, even if I had to technically cheat. But also, the people who made the game have gone on record to say it's too hard, and they barely play tested the game at all before release, so I feel like we have Ubisoft's blessing to save state and rewind to get through it.
It's also
So,
a different day and age, just to kind of piggyback off of that. I don't think
No kidding.
what we do now to get through games is really considered cheating anymore. But back then, it felt dirty. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny that it did. I mean, I guess just because you weren't doing that in other games, like the option felt like, what? I shouldn't do this. Yeah, that is funny. But he mentioned Kena there in the beginning. So I've been saying Kena for a long time, but the creators of the game multiple times said Kena, so that's what it is.
Yeah. I would have
they
thought
would
it
know
be
better than
Kena,
I
too.
Yeah, for sure. So Kena Scars of Cosmora is coming out. This game looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think the first one looked great, and it is definitely high up on my backlog. I should probably play that one pretty soon because I'm doing my PlayStation games right now. Yeah, I want to hear what you guys thought of this and where it lands on your 3-tiered system. So Taylor, let's start with you. You start us off with your tier here. Where is this one falling for you?
Yeah, Kena Scars of Cosmora, I think, is in my interested category. It's kind of at the top of the interested category. When Bridge of Spirits came out, I thought it looked very interesting. It looked very pretty, but I didn't really have a ton of interest in playing it. It was kind of on one of those things where, like, if the mood struck me, I was going through like a digital library and I saw it and I had nothing to play, maybe I would turn it on and play it one of these days, but wasn't anything I was really chomping at the bit to get to. This trailer I thought was like phenomenal. Like, this is kind of one of those trailers that I thought was so good it actually kind of makes me want to go and play Bridge of Spirits.
Definitely.
In anticipation. It's got like that old school kind of like PlayStation 2 kind of Jack and Daxter vibe where it's like action platformer but with like a really resonant and emotional storyline.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was not a series I was super interested in, but I think just based on that trailer alone, I think I might actually jump into the first one at some point this year because this looked awesome.
That might be a fun EXP to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably fun and easy to do. Kyle,
Not too long.
Yeah, not too long, exactly. Kyle, how did you feel about this one? You and I have talked about the first game before and being interested in it.
Yeah, when we first watched the preview for the first Kena, we were both pretty impressed. We're like, this game looks really cool. It looks very pretty. It looks like a lot of fun to play, gameplay wise.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel like watching this second one was kind of like, wow, why did we not play the first one?
Yeah.
Not only is the game incredibly beautiful, but I feel like the characters seem to have a lot of personality just in the short, window that we get to experience. And so for me, I think especially with the second one, I'm getting a feeling the story is pretty cool, and very interesting. Along with the universe being very, again, unique. And yeah, just a very pretty game that is obviously really short. I'm assuming it's going to be short because the first one is 9 to 12 hours. I just looked it up. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I love games like that. Just something
Me
to just
too, dude.
quickly experience and then hop out of that universe. And those usually have a pretty long lasting impression on you. So yeah, I think I would say like Taylor, kind of like in that mid to high tier of like, I think I really need to go through and play these games. I was really impressed by this.
I always felt they reminded me of Pixar.
Yeah.
Especially the first one, because the first one has those little guys. They're all cutesy little guys that run around, and they're little slapstick humors. It just gives
Yeah.
me the vibe of a Pixar movie. And I'm also excited because you can tell if you remember the trailer from the trailer and the gameplay from the first game. Kana is a very young girl. She seems like she's maybe 10 or something in the
Mhm.
first game. And this one, maybe she's like a teenager or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's cool to have a game that starts with a young child, and each game is going to follow her through her life. So assuming this game is received well and sells well, the third one would be maybe she'll be an complete adult woman, and maybe the games get more serious. It seems like this game was a little bit more serious, a little more story heavy potentially. And less cutesy. And I'm not even saying cutesy is bad. That was one of the things that was attractive to me to the first one, is that it was like a story-based third-person action platformer that had like a cutesy Pixar vibe. So
Yeah.
this one for me is, I think, even higher. Like I think this is probably like a day one for me. I'm really, I just love the art style so much. Art is so much of a game's like attraction from the outset, and I'm really into it. So I want to play the first one this year for sure.
Yeah, I keep thinking about that part of the trailer too, where you get to see the combat of her fighting that big spider, and you like parry one of his arms and like shoot him in the face with the spear or whatever, and then like the dark like dungeon or whatever turns into like a green like meadow essentially,
lights it
like
up.
like she's like cleansing the area. It kind of reminds me of like
Mhm.
Zelda or something too, which would be kind of cool vibes to conjure.
It does. It definitely has that sort of adventure platformer Zelda era vibe to it, like gameplay look, for no doubt. Yeah, very excited for this one. It just says 2026, so no specific release date, but out this year. Then they announced the Ghost of Yotai or Yote Legends. So they did this with the first game, Ghost of Tsushima, a free add-on for cooperative multiplayer, with 4 playable classes, and you team up to defeat like the demonic versions of the 6 people that you're trying to kill from the single player game, but they're like inspired by demons from, I don't know if it's like Shinto. Like I know that's sort of like that's like the religion, but I don't know if that's like if it's the religion that contains the mythical creatures, or if it's like an older period, an older religion. So that's my ignorance, Japanese culture, but love the idea.
Yeah.
I haven't even played the game yet, and I'm probably not going to play this personally, but I wouldn't put it in don't care, because it's cool and it's free, which is crazy in this day and age, and I respect the hell out of that. What do you guys think of this one? Or Taylor, tell me your tier list here. I'm going to go to you with these because I want to know where they are.
Yeah, this one, same as Kana, is in the interested category. Kind of like you said, I haven't played Ghost of Yotai yet, so I'm obviously going to be more interested in playing the single player stuff first before I break into anything multiplayer. But the first Ghost of Tsushima Legends was very, very well received. I knew a couple people that played that and thought it was like a really, really good time. So I don't know. I'm even thinking maybe at some point when we start going through Yote, maybe we can play this together, like as like a Helldivers kind of situation, just to play through. I've kind of noticed with a lot of these PlayStation properties, they're kind of adding these multiplayer modes in there that are
Mhm.
actually more fun than you would expect them to be. Like I played through the roguelike God of War Ragnarok game mode like a couple years back. Like I think it came out like 6 to 8 months after the game came out, and it
Yeah.
was actually really fun. So I have no doubt that something like this would be really cool too.
What about you, Kyle? Would you have interest in playing that after you've beaten the campaign?
I mean, if you guys specifically were like, "Hey, we want to play this," I mean, it's free. Why not? But outside of that, and I don't mean this to dog anything that they make here at Sucker Punch, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just for me, it's like that's not what I'm playing Ghost of Yotei for. So,
Nope.
but
Yeah.
I do want to specifically say that I appreciate that you're coming out with extra content for free. I think that's so huge in today's day and age. So I really appreciate that they've done that, just to add a little bit extra, because the assumption is that most people have actually played through and beat the game that are going to do that.
Mhm.
And so now here's something that kind of brings you back in, and we're not going to force you to pay for it either. I really appreciate that sort of stuff. So can't hate on this. It's Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games of all time, and can't wait to play Ghost of Yotei. It's just multiplayers.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about it as well. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I'm happy for you guys.
Right.
For the people that are going to play it, and for the fact that that Sony is fine with them spending the time working on this and not charging for it. I hope it increases sales of the game. I do think it makes sense from a strategic point of view. It's like a well-regarded game in a now beloved PlayStation exclusive series. You come out with the game that what everyone wants, which is the campaign. All the people who are like, yes, I got to have it, they buy it within the first year. And then you get this next group that's like us, maybe, where we know we're going to play it, but there's a lot to play. And then we see this announcement and we're like, oh man, I haven't even played Yotai yet. And then who knows? I bet a lot of people were like, I forgot that Ghost was out. I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
Not even because of this, but it's just like almost like an advertisement. Or your buddy has it, dude, we should play this together or whatever. This game is sick. You should get it. And I think it's really smart. And I'm sure that they do see an increase of sales with this kind of thing. So it makes a lot of sense. They announced that Death Stranding 2 is coming to PC. I don't think we have a ton to talk about there. I mean, that game's already out. So
no.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Gotta get to that eventually, but
standard for them. This will be interesting. Though it's the Solo Gamer podcast, so maybe it's not that interesting. For Loop, that's a hell of a title there. They had a gameplay deep dive. Kyle and I, we watched this, but I almost don't remember very much of it at this point. It is a emergent, like a cooperative shooter situation. I don't know. I was pretty bored watching.
Do you remember what I said about
this?
this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well,
we were
go.
towards the end of watching it, and I go, I'd rather play Helldivers.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
I mean, this like genre is like, we're over it. You guys stop making these games.
Well,
at least it's like it seems like a PvE type, like very similar to Helldivers. So I get that genre specifically hasn't been fully saturated, but there are already a lot of games that have been really successful in that genre and are going to continue to be. And I just think it's a really bad idea to try to jump in and compete with that when that fan base is already settled in what they're wanting to do. People are already playing like Arc Raiders. People are already playing Helldivers. You're going to have to make quite a stellar game, and it's going to have to be really different to pull people away from that. And so I don't know about you, Ian, or you, Taylor, but for me, I'm watching this. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but you're late. And I think I'd rather just play Helldivers.
Well, yeah, I couldn't agree more. You could have said the same thing about Helldivers before it came out. In fact, I remember that being a thing of like, hey, there's already too many of these games out here. It's not going to work. You're too late. I think Sony probably knows that, But from their perspective, they're going to keep doing this until one hits, because when one hits, it's like you just print money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's almost worth the development cost. I mean, they bought a studio, made Concord, and then canceled the game like 2 weeks after it launched. And they're doing it again.
Yeah.
So I think they're just like, I don't care what it costs. We are going to get a Destiny or the Helldivers is big, but it's not quite where they want it. They want one of these big time, massive Fortnite level multiplayer games that they can just sell for all time. They're like gold mines. And it just feels like the industry is obsessed with finding the next one. And so we have to sit through and watch this crap over and over again because they're just trying to shit one out and hoping that one of them is going to be gold eventually. And that's just what it feels like. What about you, Taylor? How do you feel about it? Wouldn't this be so funny if like Kyle and I went off like this?
Highly anticipated.
Day one.
Just jumping out of my seat. No, I mean, I think you called the strike there. Wasn't really too interested in For Loop. I think that they have a good backing behind them in terms of like they have the Bad Robot connection, and plus I think the guy that was doing the interview for the game was a former Left 4 Dead guy. So I mean, really really good pedigree and a really good resume to make something like this. But every time I've seen this game so far, I haven't been super interested in it, and I think that they should have just made like almost like a Back 4 Blood style Left 4 Dead game, but just better. Like, I think if I would have seen the guy who made Left 4 Dead come back and make something that was like a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead, like maybe with like a zombie type formula, I actually might have been a little bit more interested. But yeah I mean, like, kind of like you said, Kyle, I mean, the market for multiplayer games is pretty tough to break into, and there's a lot of other things I would rather play other than this, so I wasn't super interested.
Agreed. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to my write-in here because I know we had one other one. And there's quite a bit in there that he talks about, so I might save that for a little bit later. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Pragmata.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling about this game, but Taylor, where does this one land for you?
This is in my interested category. I think the nice thing about this whole showcase is that's where a lot of my games live, is in that interested category. Sure. I've liked what I've seen from this game so far. It seems like a pretty interesting story, very sci-fi, but with a little bit of that almost Metal Gear style Japanese kind of camp to it that I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think this would be a day one purchase for me, but I think it looks really interesting. And I loved, I feel like in this trailer, I think they've showed this game probably 2 or 3 times before this announcement. And this was the first time where I feel like we got like a really good back and forth between the two characters. They have the spaceman and then the little girl who's like the android that like is with him. You got like a really good back and forth with them that kind of gives you a window into some of their characters and kind of who they might, develop into as the game goes on. So I think it sounds pretty interesting. I'm interested in this one for sure. Capcom lately has just been hitting. So
that is one thing for sure. Capcom has not been messing around. I'm surprised this is coming out for every console. It feels like a PlayStation game to me.
Yeah, it does.
Kyle, how about you, man?
I don't know how to feel about this game, if I'm being entirely honest. I think the universe looks pretty cool. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, is this just like an alternate storyline within the universe of Death Stranding? Like, what's happening here?
You're right. It kind of feels that way.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm definitely interested because I always love that like sci-fi spacey type genre. So I'm always
Control vibes a little bit.
Yeah. But that's why I kind of tie it to Death Stranding, because Death Stranding has that like kind of weird.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah, that weird feeling to it. That's very much like Control and those type of games. can't quite put my finger on what's happening in this world. It seems interesting. So who knows? I mean, the jury's out. This could be a really cool storyline that I would love to play. I think it's a cool idea of the two main characters where you've got that like kind of prodigy young, cyber child that like you're kind of curious to like what her story is, where she came from, and how what her character arc is going to be like, and then it's just kind of cool to see that dynamic between like the older man, having to deal with who knows how they even met. I don't think that's really explained. So there's a lot of things that I don't know. Like we'll see how that like story goes. I think this is one of those games. It's going to be really important. How the writing of the story goes. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It does have a demo available. That was kind of the end of the trailer there. It's like a demo available now. I'm going to leave this one to Taylor, and Taylor can tell me if he thinks I'll like it. Because I'm interested in the art style. I think the kind of the general idea is interesting. This like weird otherworldly New York City. But just from the tiny little bit I've gotten, the little girl like already kind of makes me want to just find the nearest hard surface and smash my face right into it. Oh my god, it's gonna be a whole game of listening to this. So it's like that's kind of my part. Like it's just I don't know if it's that little flair of like the way she's talking is just wow. I do not really want to spend a whole however many hours listening to that. So we'll see, but if the gameplay is really good and the story is super interesting, we could definitely get past that. Pretty cool trailer for Resident Evil Requiem. Not that we need to see any more of this. If you're a Resident Evil fan, you're probably sold at this point. It looks awesome. It's probably going to be great. This team makes great games. The Resident Evil games are they've been on fire now for a long time. I don't know how much this is day one for you, right, Taylor?
Yeah, this will be a day one for me. I'll play this.
Yeah, and not a day one for me, but just because I'm still catching up. Quick announcement here for everybody listening. I don't know how long it's going to be, but there's like a Resident Evil sale on PlayStation Store right now. They are dirt cheap. And to me, like I kind of want to go back and play through them on the PlayStation because that's where they belong in my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you can buy like I think
it's also on Steam.
No, Steam too. Yeah. So Resident Evil's having a nice sale right now. I think I got Resident Evil 2 Raccoon City Edition, Resident Evil 3 together for like $15. I got Resident Evil 4 for $15. I got Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition for $9, and I got Resident Evil. Did I get another one? I don't know if I got 8 or not. I don't know that I bought 8.
Village?
I don't think I got 8 because it's available on PlayStation Plus, and it was a little bit more. But they're all really affordable. So
they're all $10 or below. The only one that's over that is Resident Evil 4.
There's one of them. There's a Resident Evil 2 and 3 together was like $14.99 on PlayStation.
That's awesome.
That's killer. And those are I know a lot of people didn't like 3. I like both of them. 2 is better, but they were both good, worth playing. Really classic action horror third person games. Love them.
So there's 8 total, right? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I haven't even bought. I don't even know. 5 and 6 are probably on there, but I don't know. I mean, I've been told by multiple times to skip them.
1 remake is on there too.
Oh yeah, because they remade 1. I wish they would remake 1 the same way they did 2 and 3, but they remade 2, 3, 4, and then of course 7 and 8 are like the
reboot.
Like, sort of like Requiem feels like the third of the kind of the reboot of the series. So 7 is up next for me. And I've played through the intro part a few times, so I'm gonna probably try and get through that this year as well if I can. We'll see. The next announced was Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. I do not have any history with this series. How about you guys, Taylor? Where did this rank for you?
This is one I kind of put into not super interested in.
Yeah, I didn't care at all.
This was a PS1 title that I was never really into. I think I remember hearing about it when I was a kid, but I was just a little too young. It was a little too, I think, scary looking for me, I think, when I was a kid to have gotten into it. But I've heard that these are really good games. And I think, wasn't Legacy of Kain like one of Amy Hennig's first
games?
Maybe so. I think that she wrote for?
I think you're right about that.
So it might be interesting from that perspective, but yeah, I wasn't super interested in it. I didn't know a ton about it.
Yeah, she did write. She worked primarily in Legacy of Kain series. I didn't realize that. Oh, that actually makes me slightly more interested. That'd be cool. I don't remember this one because I fast forwarded through it. I think strategy RPG Brigandine Abyss. Taylor.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. This is probably, which is kind of surprising because it's probably one of 2 anime games I think in this whole press conference that I was interested in. But speaking of old PS1 series, this is actually Brigandine was on the original PS1 and is touted as being like one of the best like strategy RPGs on there. It's kind of Fire Emblem-esque. Like Fire Emblem is to Nintendo as like Brigandine is to PlayStation. So
Gotcha.
It's a series that has like a lot of history, and the first one came out in like the late 90s, and I think they made a sequel on PlayStation 4 that came out like I don't know, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, something like that. So this is the follow-up to that one, and I haven't played any of them, but I've heard a lot about them, and I thought that this one looked pretty cool. So I might jump into this one or play through the series at some point in time.
The game features 100 unit classes and 6 main storylines.
Yeah,
man, talk about
extensive. Yeah,
I mean it's a tactical RPG, so that part attracts me. But beyond that,
there's a lot of tactical RPGs, like JRPGs. Kind of, I feel like JRPGs are kind of the genre that created the tactical RPG, the turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
I'm not a fighting game fan outside of Mortal Kombat for the characters and the sort of the nostalgia. Dead or Alive 6, I did not care about this at all. What about you guys? Movie fighter game?
Nah, not into it.
I mean, yeah, outside of the baddies, that's about it.
The problem I have with the baddies is they look like they're 9, and so that creeps me out, and I'm kind of like,
yeah, some of them do. I'm not talking about all of them.
I'm sure there's some that don't, but like I'm looking at the cover and there's like 6 that do. So I'm just sort of like, wow, what island are they fighting on?
Oh, Japan.
Okay, here we go. This is the reason that this is like if you're gonna watch for any reason, this is the reason to watch, and it's Control Resonant.
Yeah,
holy fuck. Day one, still no release date. So that sucks because I would love to play through the first one with you guys in advance of this.
Yeah.
But 2026 release date, what did we think? Where is this one ranking for you, Taylor?
This is in my interested category as well. I think the only reason it wouldn't be in a day one section is I do want to get some more history with the overall narrative and the story first before I get into Control Resonant. So
you'll need it.
Yeah. As much as I've
no sense.
Yeah, as much as I've really liked, everything I've seen from this so far, like I just want to play through the other games first and get a little bit more context for what's going on in it. One thing I have to call out in this trailer that I was talking to our friend of the show, Craig, about is the way that the main character moves when he like magnetizes to like different surfaces.
I know,
reminds me a lot of Gravity Rush. So I was telling Craig, I was like, dude, did you see this? This looks like Gravity Rush. And he was like, I'm in. He was like, I'm day one now. So
that's awesome.
I noticed that too, because I did play a little bit of Gravity Rush, and that was a very memorable part of that game. I hadn't really seen anything like that before. And I did think about that. Kyle, I mean, you and I are kind of on the same level here. I was so happy when I was bugging you to play Control and you went to play it, and that you ended up liking it as much as I did. How pumped are you?
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty stoked. There's so many things that we got to see, like gameplay wise, in this game that it just makes me so excited. There's multiple moments through the trailer where, I was just like, "Whoa, oh,
I
you know."
Oh,
Because the game is just so trippy. The camera changes and like it looks kind of confusing when you're watching it, but I'm sure when you're playing it, it just all flows so nicely. They're really good about making the gameplay feel that way. So I totally trust them to make this game like a lot of fun, even though I feel like, when you're watching it, I feel like I kind of lose track of like what's happening because it's just like,
yeah, it's out of context too.
yeah, it's got that feeling of kind of that Inception feeling, where there's
Very
buildings
Inception
that are like,
feeling, yeah.
Above you, the ground's above you, and it's also below you, and it's also to your left and to your right. So
yeah, and
very
you're using all 4 of them.
yeah, very, very cool. And of course, I'm all here for being able to have like a melee hack and slash version of Control. I'm definitely down for that.
Definitely. I like the fact how different they will probably feel because of that.
Yeah.
But what I'm so excited for is that Control, the first Control game, is one of the the last times I can remember feeling like a game naturally progressed the character, not in a story way, but in a gameplay way, from feeling like a decent third-person shooter, and by the end of the game, you're like, I'm a fucking god.
Yeah.
And you really feel that way, and you're just floating through the air and ripping things off of walls and throwing them. I feel like a Sith Lord at the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like they did such a good job of that, of how they escalated that through the whole game, and they paced it really well. And I'm just super excited to see how they start you from the beginning and what it's like, because this looks off the wall and just it's so Control. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah. It's very unique. I think what's really hard to pull off too that I don't think gets said enough is creating like, new powers and like and moves for your character that actually, they don't just look cool, but they're actually very useful and you use them a lot and you start to lean on them. It felt like in Control, like everything that they introduced to your character was something that you honestly had to use on multiple occasions. And I think that's really hard to pull off because oftentimes you'll play games where they introduce new spells or features for your character that it's like, that's cool, but I'm like, I can't think of a scenario where I would use this.
Right.
And so I think it's really important to make sure that every single skill and spell that you introduce to the game is actually something that's truly effective and something that they'll have to lean on and use. And Control does that like very, very well. Every type of spell that you're using has a very real use to it that you're going to have to use depending on the enemies that you're fighting. And so I really like that part of it too. It's like, I know that every part of this game is going to have to be used, and so I'm excited to kind of explore what it feels like in this game. And I just know that the gameplay is just going to be a fucking blast.
Yep. Yeah, just the combination of all of that from the gameplay and progression and pacing, along with the mind-bending, mystery-laden story. Yeah, definitely one of my most highly anticipated games. This was a surprise. This next game was kind of what made me realize that sometimes like a game doesn't have to take itself super seriously, and it can just be about having a lot of fun and looking badass. And this RPG Crimson Moon, if I'm using Taylor's three tiered system, it's definitely in the interest. I'm very interested in this Crimson Moon. There was like a Doom-esque. I bet Lord of the Cream wrote in about this, and so I will read Cream Lord's write in kind of at the end to help sum everything up. But Crimson Moon, yeah, man, this looked awesome. This looked fun. It looked uninhibited. It looked like people just wanted something specific and they decided to make it. And I'm hoping that the reviews are good because I would be totally down. It's co-op. It would be super fun to play this with you guys on Xbox or PC or something and stream it or something like that. I think it would be a blast. Where does this one sit for you, Taylor?
Yeah, this is in my interested tier, but probably at the high end of it as well. I thought this looked just badass. I mean, we've talked about before my love for the Paladin class in Diablo, and this literally looks like Paladin class in Diablo Doom with like heavy metal backdrop, and that just sounds dope to me. Like, I loved everything about this. I love just killing demons as a holy knight. I think that's always a fun part to play in any game, and one that I have the most fun with. So yeah, this looks really, really cool. I'm excited for this one.
They do only show 2 characters. I wonder if it's going to be only 2-player co-op. Not sure. I guess we'll get more details on that later, but I just appreciate how unapologetic it is about what it is and what it wants to be and what it's trying to be. I appreciate the honesty that just seems to be within like the gameplay. They just showed it right up front. Kyle, how did you feel about this one?
Yeah, this definitely feels like one of those games that's just a whole lot of stupid fun.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. I love the soundtrack was sick. It just really grabbed your attention from the beginning. So it definitely got that feeling of like, Doom vibes for sure. And then being able to do that with friends and just constantly just have mind-numbing like waves of zombies or enemies and just smashing them and making them bleed all over the place.
Rip and tear.
Just with your friends and just heavy metal, just smashing through. That just sounds like a lot of fun. I'm down for that.
Yeah, it does. It sounds sick. Like,
yeah,
I'm definitely interested. Very, very interested. Yeah, so we'll look into that one and definitely keep our eye on that one. We had Beast of Reincarnation, kind of weird, like fantasy, sci-fi, action, Souls-like maybe. I wasn't super drawn to it personally. What about you, Taylor?
Yeah, this one was in the interested category for me on the lower end, I would say. I think one thing that makes this game kind of interesting and novel is that it's being developed by Game Freak, who does the Pokemon series. So,
that's right.
As people know, Game Freak is a third party or a second party developer for Nintendo, but they obviously make other games outside of Pokemon. So I think this one looks pretty interesting. I think my only thing with this game is that I almost wouldn't trust Game Freak to make a really, really good game. This would be one I would have to wait to see like some reviews on or see like kind of what the consensus is before being really, really interested in it. Just because I barely trust Game Freak to make a Pokemon game, and I don't know how well they would work in a 3D space with a like action Souls-like kind of game. So we'll see. I might be interested in this one if it ends up getting some good buzz, but I'm weirdly like not confident about it.
Yeah,
Seems
agreed.
okay.
Yeah, Kyle, I almost didn't even ask you about it because I think you and I are like on the same page.
The comp that I would say is kind of like Souls meets like Studio Ghibli, it's like it's got that like kind of that feel to it, I guess, that like Studio Ghibli, like or is it Ghibli or Ghibli?
Ghibli.
Okay, Ghibli. Yeah, Studio Ghibli is like kind of animation, like, because it seems like the main character is kind of like either like a teenager or a really young dude, and then the wolf with him. I just kind of get those Studio Ghibli vibes with it, but then the play is like the style of gameplay is definitely very Souls-like. So
like
I don't know,
Souls-like
seems
combined
right.
with platforming.
Yeah,
it's like some platforming in there. Yeah. So we discussed Rayman a little bit. Do either of you have anything to say about Rayman 30th anniversary?
Nah, I wasn't super interested in this one.
Sorry, Craig. Let us know.
Sorry. I'm more passionate about other mascot platformers.
I don't even remember this one. Mina the Hollower?
Yeah. This is a good one.
Did we fast forward?
A good one? I don't think so. I don't
I don't remember it
I'll
either.
have to.
Let me see.
What in the world? Oh, that's why, because I'm on this. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Well, hold on.
I think
sorry,
we
I was trying to
definitely
switch.
fast forwarded this.
No, I didn't. The reason I was.
I don't remember any of this.
Oh, okay, maybe we did then. I didn't remember, but
2D platformer.
it's a 2D platformer. So Taylor, you're pumped for this?
Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is being made by the team that did Shovel Knight, so this is like kind of like a long anticipated game from them because like Shovel Knight came out in like 2014 and was like kind of a smash hit success, and we've been kind of waiting for that team to make another game since then. They just refused to put anything out. So as far as I know, this is kind of like a smaller game that they made in the meantime while they're working on something a little bit bigger.
Okay.
This looks really cute and cool. I love the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and Seasons for the Game Boy Color games. They're just fun little action puzzle games for the Game Boy. So this seems to be kind of made in that same style. I think it looks cute and cool. I don't know if I'll pick it up day one, but certainly something I could see myself like playing on Switch and having a good time with.
Yeah, it's a legendary game. The Shovel Knight is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
definitely worth
One of the most successful indie games of all time. Might be the most successful.
I wouldn't be surprised by that. I'm just going to kind of pick it up here as we get through some of these. Neva Prologue. So there's already been another Neva game out. Kind of a beautiful artsy style game. Kyle, what did you... have you seen the original one before?
I haven't.
I definitely recognize it. But
yeah.
Side-scrolling?
Yeah, this is one of those games again where I'm like, man, I can't wait to get like a Steam Deck or something and try it out. This, those type of games I've been wanting to play, but I don't know why. For some reason, it just doesn't make sense to me on a console. I don't know why. I just can't put it together.
I feel you on that. I agree completely. I love these types of games I would love to get some kind of handheld to play these 2D games. This one, some of the enemies, I mean, the main enemy is very Studio Ghibli. It's very, oh my God, Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Is what it reminds me of. The big, like, kind of simple-faced black and white creature with the multiplicity coming out of its own mouth and the eye and the face.
Yeah.
The art style is beautiful. Taylor, did you play the first Neva game?
No, I didn't. I don't think I remembered being super interested in this particular
DLC.
game.
I did not pick up on that. This is DLC. Yeah. Okay. Is this something you would be interested in playing?
Possibly. Maybe. I don't know if you guys really liked it and wanted to recommend it to me. I would take it into consideration. But this was, I think, not something that jumped out at me initially.
Okay. Yako Shinobi Ops. Shinobi is a classic action side-scrolling game. This is almost isometric, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, where did this one land for you?
Wasn't super interested in this one either. I think the connection for this one for me is there's a PlayStation, like an early PS1 series called Tenshu that this one reminds me a lot of. But I didn't know. I couldn't really tell if this was like a multiplayer game or if it was a single player game. But
it says it's cooperative.
In that case, I'm probably not super interested.
4-player cooperative stealth experience that redefines Shinobi action. Work as one, strike from the shadows, leave no trace.
It's got a cool element to it. It could be fun. What I like about it is it's not fully isometric, so there's times where you'll do finishes and stuff like that, or it'll continue the story and it'll go back into a closer camera view. It really zooms in, so you can kind of get a good picture of the characters too. It looks fun. I don't know if I'd play it, but
if it got like incredible reviews, I could be talked into it. Maybe
I definitely would need to have somebody play with me.
I love the PS1 art style, though. I like that they kind of kept that intact.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so this next one is just it had some gameplay, but Krafton is back as publisher. They are a big Korean publisher. They brought PUBG to the world, and then of course they brought one of my favorite cult
Our
hit
beloved
horror games that we've talked about in fucking what's it called again?
Callisto Protocol.
Callisto Protocol. Thank you. So kind of an interesting pathway for them. Project Windless, the Deadly Chicken.
Dude, this has to be the most viral release of the entire show.
Dude, this looks fucking awesome.
This was all over my TikTok for an entire day.
It's definitely Dynasty Warriors-esque, right?
For sure.
Yeah. It looks. It starts off really badass, and then you're like, "It's a giant chicken." What the heck?
I think it's cool, man.
It is cool. It's different. I'm not trying to knock it. It was just a little bit of like, you kind of had to get over the fact that he was a chicken for a little bit, and then it's like, actually, this is really cool.
Did you see in the beginning that it's based off of another IP called The Bird That Drinks Tears?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a book or something?
Which is a classic Korean epic fantasy novel series.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
featuring
cool
unique races like bird-like recon, fire-wielding tokebi, and reptilian naga who give up their hearts for immortality.
So you could say it's a pretty well-known cock.
Hey!
That's true.
Does this chicken have it? No, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it was CGI, but there is some potential gameplay. I couldn't tell if it was like real gameplay.
It looked like in-engine, maybe,
Yeah.
some of it.
Very Dynasty Warriors, just blasting through endless crowds of enemies. I mean, if this were to come out next year, would you be? Where would this fall for you guys on your tier list?
Yeah, I
day
wasn't
one?
super interested in this one, to be honest.
I would
me-
put this at interested.
Yeah, interested, and I also think the price point matters. I'm not paying $70 worth of a game, but
Right.
because I don't feel like the depth is really there for this game. But I would definitely like just smash hordes for a few, several hours for like 30,
Yeah, like
40
pick it up on
bucks.
sale later on. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Especially if it's like co-op or whatever.
Yeah,
I sent
We'll
this.
see.
I sent this trailer to a friend of mine, and we were laughing at it because I called it a foghorn leghorn ass game. Just him beating up monsters, being nah, say boy, nah, say you gotta do this. You
Oh,
see,
yeah, that
slicing off his head, the twin blades.
that's.
totally
You
forgot
gotta
about
hit him in the weak point, boy.
I will say that scene where he starts walking over the hill that he's standing on, and you can kind of see over the cliff. You start to see like the massive battle that's going on, and like the two sides are like starting to collide, and then you see him just kind of raise his sword over the top. That scene was pretty cool. So I mean, if the battles are going to be that large and you're just going through just murdering everything, that would be fun.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely, like, I'm sort of in like keep me posted mode. If it comes out and there's more details and it still seems cool and it comes out and it gets good reviews, I need it built up. But you piqued my interest just because of how unique it is, artistically.
You piqued my interest with that giant cock.
That giant chicken.
You've piqued my interest, maybe.
Hey. Star Wars Galactic Racer with the gameplay
Dude.
release. How do we feel about this, gentlemen?
Injected into my veins.
Yeah,
right now.
We're all going to buy this on the same platform, right?
Yeah, whatever you guys want,
I
I'll
don't
do
know.
So that we can all play
Yeah,
together.
I'm down for whatever. Yeah.
Okay. We'll come to that when it releases, but still no release date, just 2026. But gameplay trailer. It looks like
Can
there's
I
going to
pay
be a
for it
story
now?
in it. You can pre-order if you want.
Jeez. I just feel like I've seen enough. I don't care.
I know. I've seen enough too. I'm just so excited. I love that they put the pod racing in it. We got good old
Yeah.
Ben Quadraneros in there. Little
God, I love Ben Quadraneros coming back.
so
Have
funny,
you heard
dude.
there's a like Midwest emo band called Ben Quad? Have you heard
No
of this
way.
band?
No.
Yeah, and that's their name, and they got it directly from Star Wars. And a bunch of my friends like didn't know that, and they thought it was the funniest thing ever that they just named their band after this like H tier Star Wars character.
H tier. He really is. I mean, it's just like he only has like one line in one movie. And
Yeah.
he's just famous forever. Oh, Tata! Yeah, I'm in. I like the idea. It seems like there's gonna be some kind of story.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
part.
well,
I was
it's
excited about
cutscene.
that.
Very cool. I don't know if it's gonna be any good, but
I don't
the nice
care.
thing about a game like this is it won't matter as much if the story is good. That's like a phenomenal bonus.
Yeah.
If it's not, you play through it and then you just keep racing, right? Like it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm more concerned about with this game like the map selection.
Mhm.
Because I haven't been totally in love with some of the maps that they've shown. Like, obviously it looks like Jakku features pretty
Mhm.
prominently. Kind of done with Jakku. Like, don't really have any interest in going there. So
I don't
hope
know.
they
Why are
maybe.
the games so obsessed with this planet?
I don't know. It
What
was
is
like
with that?
if I'm gonna go to a desert planet, just take me to Tatooine. But yeah, I don't know. I hope we get some returning like old Star Wars Racer Revenge Pod Racer levels coming back with some new flair too.
Yeah, love that. I like the idea that it takes place like after the war is over and it's like reinstated and they're kind of doing their own thing and there's different kinds of racers. There's speeders and speeder bikes and pod racers and like different.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'll be different rings or I'm excited to see how it all works. Like I'm ready for the next video I want to see from them is like here's how all the modes work, and it's like
Yeah.
you create your racer and like choose the level of race, like speed,
That would be
speeders
sick.
and bikes,
Character
and
creator.
you got to work your way up and like all that. Like I want to see the feature video. That's what I'm ready to see next for sure.
Yeah. Be cool if you could make your character like a different race too. I think would be fun.
Yeah,
I also want to
Twi'lek
see
or something.
how in depth they get with customizing your vehicle and whatnot.
Yeah, like paint jobs and stuff.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like having like a garage with all of your different vehicles that you have in there. Yeah.
With your droids,
super.
maybe
Yeah,
being
the
able to.
pit droids.
Pit droids.
Yeah,
They get sucked into the turbine. Wow.
I always loved is like when I played Pod Racer for 64. Like you go to the little area where you're upgrading your pod, you buy the parts, and then you go to your hangar, and all the little pit droids are
Yeah.
like in there working on your. But they're just for some reason they're always just welding the shit out of your pod racing engines.
A job that requires zero welding, but they're still doing it.
Just, all they do is just weld everything. They're just shooting the engine with a welder, but it's cool. Like I'm down. Can't wait. I'm going to read our second and final write-in here from Lord of the Cream. He said, "Hi lads, amazing state of play. I won't say anything about Resident Evil Requiem because I actually fast forward it since I'm already sold. I don't need to see anymore. First Light is at the top of my list of excitement. I'm glad to see 009 seems to be the real villain and Lenny Kravitz is just a minor side character. I figured that was the case, but it's still glad to see it's basically confirmed. I love Bond stories with the other 00s involved, so I'm curious to see how this plays out. My biggest hesitation in the game was the guy playing Bond looking a bit too boyish, but so far he's winning me over with his performance. It is supposed to be a younger version of him than we are used to. And if the series continues, which I assume it will, we can see him get older and more sophisticated and grow into the part. Other standouts for Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2, coming just in time as I'm playing through the series, which is awesome. Crimson Moon, which we talked about earlier, looks like medieval third-person action combat Doom. Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Project Windless also looked weird as hell, but I'm super into it. Glad to see the combat looks more God of War than Souls-like, which brings me to the God of War trilogy remake, which we're going to get into that. Missed the boat on these as I just wasn't playing console games during this time. I was only in the PC ecosystem, but I know I'd love them. I've been hoping they'd get a remaster, but a remake is even better. I'll be curious to see how much gets changed from a gameplay perspective. I hope they keep it as close as they can. Maybe get rid of the QTE. That might not age well, but hard for me to say. I didn't really play them. So we'll get into the Game of War talk here. 007 First Light. Where is this for you guys?
Highly anticipated for me. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to play day one. I love IO Interactive. I think they make great games. I love the Hitman games, so this looks great. I would say I'm a pretty big Bond fan too. I'm obviously not on the level of Cream Lord here in terms of my knowledge. I was actually talking to him about Bond because I was like, I don't know. I feel like the scar looks a little bit weird on him. And he actually informed me that I guess that's a book James Bond detail.
Nice.
that I guess they've never put in the movies. So I
That's
was like,
cool.
okay, well, I did not know that. That is pretty dope. So yeah, this looks good. I almost kind of at the same point with First Light as I am with Requiem, Resident Evil, where I'm like, I'm kind of done seeing stuff about it. Like I'm already kind of sold. I'll be there day one. So I don't really feel the need to read too much more into it. But yeah, I'm hyped.
How about you, Kyle?
Yeah, man. What can you say, man? This is just like you watch their trailer, and it's just like the only way I could say this is a James Bond video game. It's got everything that you would want and ask for in a James Bond video game. So definitely interested to play this. Hopefully the story is good because I think that's what's going to be very important here.
Absolutely.
Obviously the gameplay, needs to be pretty fun, but I'd be okay with that slipping a little bit as long as they make sure that the story is very, very good because that's kind of what I'm playing this game for. So, but it looks awesome. It's got everything that you want, right? The action, the political intrigue, the espionage, the beautiful women. It's got everything that you want in the game.
Yep.
It's all the beats.
It does. I was when they first announced they were doing this, I wasn't sure. I have a lot of respect for the Hitman games. I am not very good at them. I get impatient and like I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't want to use a guide and I feel dumb because I keep getting like it's so open-ended and I'm just not like I need my hand held like a little bit more in that, I think, sometimes when I'm playing games just to be real. But this almost strikes me more as like Uncharted.
Yes. Yeah.
As I'm watching it, and that makes me very excited. Like if you're just going to put me on a roller coaster that's third-person action with tons of huge set pieces, fucking hey, man, I'm in.
Right.
Like that's a good game that's made for me. Hearing the music, I like the idea of a super young, inexperienced Bond who's like, 26 or whatever, like just barely getting started in the role. And if it's really good game and it sells well and they keep going, like Cream Lord said, just kind of moving forward and progressing the story and having direct sequels with this version of Bond. Very, very excited. I don't know if it'll be day one. Like I think on day one, I want people to start playing it, see the reviews, see what Taylor says, and like maybe like week one buy if it's as good as I think it'll be. Once I'm confirmed that, because if it comes out and it's like a 7, a 6, and everyone's like, oh, what could have been? I could see like that would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So I don't want to drop 70 on a brand new, like they've never made a Bond game before, like they were only making Hitman. Like I want to make sure first. But as soon as it's confirmed as good, this comes out the day before my birthday too, so it's kind of cool.
Nice.
So if it's really, really good, or even before, if the reviews are coming out like the week before and they're all really, really good, I would take that as like, okay, cool. I'm going to pick it up and play it over my birthday weekend or something like that.
Heck yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. Taylor, take it away.
Yeah, excited for this one. I haven't played the Master Collection 1 just yet. That's been on my list to go back to whenever I decide to play through Metal Gear again. But this one is worthy to note because Metal Gear Solid 4, up until this point, actually was stuck on the PlayStation 3. You could not play this game until now on modern consoles. So glad that they finally figured that out because I think it's a really good love letter to the series. I think it would be a horrible place for somebody to get started playing the series on. So I wouldn't recommend it to anybody who hasn't already been kind of into the series. But I know Cream Lord is playing through the series right now and he's playing the 3 remake. So this has come just in time for him to get into 4. So I love 4. I'm excited to see what he thinks about it when he plays it. And Peace Walker, also very good too.
I think this was like the beginning of the Konami thing. Like they were like, hey, here's some games from Konami.
Yeah.
Darwin's sorry, Kyle, you don't have anything to say about Metal Gear, right?
No, I'll trust Taylor when he plays it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to because I know we're hitting we're at like an hour 45. So yeah, exactly. Darwin's Paradox looks like a side-scrolling, like kind of funny, I don't know, like dark humor kind of a game. Is that like, I don't know. Are any of you guys interested in that?
No, not particularly.
If it's really funny, I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
if it's
turns out
really
to be
funny
great.
and kind of a shorter game.
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Fucking Castlevania, Belmont's Curse. This looks
Dude.
awesome.
Yeah.
This looks
Dude.
so good. Damn.
If
So excited
if
for
anything
this one.
is convincing me to get a handheld device, this is the game. Like, this game looks
Right.
amazing.
I know,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, so excited that this like series is kind of coming back too. And I love Symphony of the Night. I love Castlevania 3. And this looks like it's hitting all the right beats for me. So I love Richter Belmont, I think, is one of the most interesting characters in the Castlevania universe. And I think his story with Dracula and Dracula's son Alucard, which is Dracula backwards, is really compelling and really, really good. So this looks fun, man. I think it's a really, really pretty looking game, and I've been loving
Looks
kind of this,
beautiful.
side-scrolling kind of 2D action games. So this looks like
Yeah, it's kind of a
gonna be
renaissance right now.
pretty- Oh
Feels
yeah,
like.
I love the style for this too.
It's like 2.5D, but not ugly. I feel like some 2.5D games look a little, I don't know, low budget or something. I don't know what it is, but this looks beautiful. I love the dark Castlevania art style. I grew up watching my brothers play these games. I love the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that. Like it's just a perfect time for this, and I'm so glad Konami's getting back in the game. And to your point, Kyle, I want to play this on a handheld. I don't know what it is about that, but I agree with you. I agree with you completely on that. Silent Hill Townfall, this first-person Silent Hill game. Taylor, I think you're the only one of the three of us who's actually played any Silent Hill games. What were your thoughts here?
Yeah, this one looks interesting. God, they're just pumping out Silent Hill stuff lately, man.
Yeah, I was like,
feel
wait.
like
Didn't they just come out with F? Like, what the the
yeah,
F?
like just this year. So I don't know. I feel like if they don't, that was good. What the F?
It's a little delayed response there.
It hit me just the right
That was
time.
awesome.
But yeah, I feel like they're kind of in a little bit of danger, maybe, of overexposing this series, maybe just slightly. But I liked the Silent Hill 2 remake. I just played through that for the first time last year and had a lot of fun with it. So this looks interesting. It looks like it's a joint venture with Annapurna, so it looks like it's a little bit more cinematic. Maybe like it's more of a like interactive movie than it might be like an actual like Silent Hill gameplay kind of game. So
Okay.
I think it looks cool, but I haven't even played through F yet, which I'm really excited about too. So I would probably play through that before I got to this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to play through a few more horror games this year because I love to play them during that time of year, September, October, November, but I don't have enough time, and then I only play one, and then I'm into the holiday season, so I need to play some of my. If I want to get through my backlog and get more of the horror games in, I need to probably play a couple more during this time of year. This is one I definitely fast forwarded through. Rev Noir, Taylor. We're going to rely on you for this one.
Nah, this looks like Genshin slop. Not interested.
Yes, it did.
I do want to mention for Townfall, just really quick. I thought. I said this when we were watching it. I thought it was really cool to have the representation there of having an African American like main character for a horror, type game. I just think it's
a good
so.
point. You did mention that.
Yeah, I think it's just like something that is obviously when we think about like those negative stereotypes is like that's definitely one of those that you wouldn't it just never happens because you would assume that that type of character wouldn't be in a horror film, I believe, so I think it just kind of like breaks the mold for a lot of different negative stereotypes. So I think it's just really cool that they decided to go that route. So I just wanted to kind of shout that out.
That's a great point. Good, very good shout out. And I'm not trying to skip you, Kyle. I just know we're trying.
No, you're good. You're good.
Get through these. So that's a really good point, and I'm very excited about that, especially after I've played through Silent Hill 2 and F. Assuming I really enjoy them, I'll be very excited for that. John Wick. This is. We won't spend too much time on this because it's TBA. There was no release year. I couldn't tell what was gameplay and what wasn't. It was pretty whatever. But if they get the gun fu close quarters shooting plus melee combat correct, this could be very cool. What did you guys think about this one?
This looks cool. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was all cinematic as far as I was concerned. I don't remember seeing any gameplay.
Yeah,
there were cinematic parts that looked like gameplay, but
yeah, I think you're right. I think it was all cinematic. So it's like that's what we were saying. We're like, well, this is cool, but I think toward the end there looks like gameplay.
Okay.
Like after they say John Wick, I'm looking at the trailer. Like 1:40 in, it looks like gameplay to me. It says captured on PS5, and it looks like in-engine gameplay in the YouTube video. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see how. Is it like? Did they say it was like a prequel?
I don't know. Yeah,
spanning on the franchise's intricate lore with familiar characters fans already know, as well as completely new ones. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm all for it.
Same, especially if it's
I'm excited that they're even making it. It's kind of one of those things where like just the confirmation that they're even like it's even in development, I think is kind of cool.
I'm definitely trying to throw people through windows and smash their head into toilets and stuff like that. So,
hell yeah, this is another thing. This is another thing too, like another project where I'm kind of sad that Lance Reddick is no longer with us because his character in the John Wick movies is awesome. I wish he was here to play his character in this game. So
that's a good point. I'm going to skip a few things so that we can spend the last 10 minutes or so talking about these three games. Saros. Kyle and I think, kind of have a similar opinion on this one. So, Taylor, how about you talk to us about Saros and what you think after this gameplay trailer?
Yeah, Saros looks great. This is another day one purchase for me, highly anticipated. Almost don't even really want to see too much more about it. I already know that I'm going to be in there day one. I've talked about how much I loved Returnal and had a lot of fun with that co-op mode. I just think it's a great fun little roguelike game that I think was kind of the thing that really got me into roguelikes, honestly. I just like the way that they do it. I think what makes this trailer kind of novel too is it kind of seems like they are keeping some of the roguelike elements, but maybe giving people like an out to play it by themselves a little bit easier. They have that system in the game where it's like you can toggle kind of like how difficult the challenge is in the game, but everything has to be kept in balance. So if you make it too easy, it's not going to let you just like totally face roll the game. So like you have to have certain parameters in your game perfectly balanced to sort of keep a consistent challenge, but might make it a little bit easier. I know one of the things that certainly makes it easier that they announce is that like you'll be able to, once you get to a new biome, you'll be able to basically save your progress. And then once you jump back into the game, you'll start at that biome instead of starting completely from the beginning. So in Returnal, I think you had to make it through like all 5 biomes in one run to get to the end. And if you didn't, you had to start over from the beginning. So it seems like they're kind of scaling back that part of it and making it more accessible.
Yeah, that's a big deal in these types of games. Kyle, I think you're pretty similar take on this as me, but how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to be into this type of game because I think the universe is so cool. The artwork is beautiful.
The gameplay looks fucking awesome.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm getting some like kind of Dune vibes about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The eclipse and everything, and like
I love everything about it.
That
and then
orange red aesthetic kind of.
And then
yellow.
Unfortunately, I know what kind of game it is, and I'm like, man, I just know I'm not going to enjoy doing that.
Yeah, it just like when dying just feels like it just erases everything you did. I'm just like, it makes me just want to turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this.
This should. I think you guys should play this together co-op.
Yeah, I think co-op makes a difference.
Co-op.
I think there's enough improvements in it to make the challenge a little bit more fair, and playing the game co-op makes a huge difference. I think it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, that would be a good point. If this is like as good as people are saying it's going to be, like, you know, if what we think it's going to be, it might be worth doing that. That'd be fun. I've been itching to play cooperative games lately too. So that'd be really cool. All right, let's round this thing out. God of War, they're remaking the entire original trilogy. I guess they're going to release it all at once. My big question is like, are they going to make it just like the originals? Are they going to try and blend the new versions with the old versions as far as gameplay goes, or is it going to be more? I kind of hope it's more like the original games. Very cool, very early announcement. I think my only negative about this is like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah, it seems way too early.
Like, you're not going to hear from us for a long time. So get excited. This is weird. This is a weird.
Yeah. As much as I love seeing the original voice actor come back, dude, that guy is so awesome.
You saw that?
Hilarious.
Love that dude. I forget his name, but dude, he's a charmer, that one.
Yeah, he's got quite the personality. I'm like, whoa, where did this guy come from? You know, I don't really know the God of War trilogy very well, so I'm excited for that because I definitely want to know what Kratos was like before he settled down and got married and had a kid, you know? So
he was a rotten son of a bitch.
I know, that's what I'm looking for.
Pretty awful person.
TC Carson is the name of the voice actor.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I've played through the original trilogy 2 times. And like once, I don't know, back on the PS3 when they released the
collection.
They released the collection. And then I did it again, like right before the 2018 God of War came out because I hadn't played it in a while. Super cool. Like, love these games. They're just classics of their time. I remember these games, like God of War 1 was kind of like PlayStation's Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that PlayStation was like, oh, we have Killzone, but it like wasn't really like that was supposed to be the Halo killer, but it never reached those heights. Like, but the game that everyone wanted to play for PS2 when I was in 7th grade or whatever that was God of War.
100%.
And I didn't get to play it then. I didn't have a PS2. I didn't play it until much later when I had PS3. But yeah, they're classics. They're really fun. They're unapologetic mid 2000s like action games. They're
testosterone filled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely pre like Last of Us vibes that the remake had, or the not remake, but like the new reboot had, which I love as well. But
same.
Very, very excited. I'm glad they're going to get the original voice actor back, and we get to relive these. I mean, they were all about spectacle and graphics, and they were incredible at the time. So a remake is perfect because it's like the biggest thing was just how fun it was. Cream Lord mentioned like no QTEs. Like, I wouldn't even mind QTEs. It was such a cinematic thing. It was just like doing the QTEs as he's climbing up these massive creatures.
Yeah, stabbing him with the blades.
Them.
And...
it's supposed to be cinematic and badass and power fantasy, and that's what I hope it is.
Yeah. Same. So. Yeah, and there's some throughout the trilogy too. I never played 3, but I played 1 and 2, and some really cool boss fights against like giant like beasts that are just like really cool set pieces and just like really, really fun. So like I think about from like in the reboot games, like the fight against like Fenrir, you know, like like that kind of fight with like a giant beast, but just like on steroids. And I think even back in the PlayStation 2, they got the sense of scale, like you're fighting this like massive monster. Like they had it down back in the day even, so it holds up.
They did. Yeah. Very excited, but I think it was too early. I don't really know why they did this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you do these type of remakes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Bethesda kind of did it right, you know?
I know.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Just be quiet about it and just be like, hey, this is out now.
Maybe they were worried it was going to leak or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Could be.
And then they released this 2.5D God of War Son of Sparta. The reviews are not great.
I'm kind of interested in it, honestly. I might play it.
You let me know what you think, and I'll play it if you like it.
Yeah.
Apparently, the voice acting is horrible. The characters won't shut up. There's a bunch of issues with the animations. You can't use the D-pad. Apparently, it's pretty bad, from what I've heard. So a few people like Colin likes it okay, but he says he likes it, but then he just complains about everything. So it's like, do you like it? Jaffe, who's the original creative director of the original God of War,
I saw him shit on it.
Hates it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just interesting. We'll see if it's good, but yeah, that was it. That was State of Play, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
group.
supposed to be one of their smaller shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
The only
was
problem with
substantive.
this is what's the showcase going to be like if this is a State of Play?
I know. What's the Summer Games Fest going to look like?
Yeah.
now?
Hopefully they didn't blow their load.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they may have. So we'll see. I mean, get some of these games released, and there is a lot of Intergalactic. Maybe it's going to be the headliner for the showcase.
Ooh, yeah. I'd like to see more on that.
I would definitely like to see more on that. My God,
can't wait.
So yeah. Well, I don't want to rush us off, but that was pretty long, and it's pretty late. So I'm going to rush us off.
Get out.
Any final words? Get out. Any final words, thoughts?
Only other thing I want to make mention of is that I think Marathon looks really, really good, and I will be playing that day one.
Oh, really?
Wow,
I'm surprised.
That's a highly anticipated for me.
Oh shit! Okay,
Really?
Sorry, I wouldn't have skipped that one. Yeah, I'm not excited at all for that, but you're gonna have to let me know what you think, because I am invested in the sense that it's Bungie, and I'll forever have like a weird soul connection to Bungie.
Yeah, as an entity.
Yeah, as a company, just kind of like I will with BGS, even when things aren't going well. I want to know what's going on with them. That would be the only thing that would get me to play it. I might play like the demo or whatever, because it is a Bungie game and I'm curious, but I'm not a big extraction shooter guy or a multiplayer guy. And the way this whole development has gone and all of the horrible things going on in Bungie and how bad it's been run and the shitty managers and just all of it, I'm just like, it just feels toxic and I just kind of don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was just thinking about this too. I'm like, you know what? I think a big thing about it too is I don't even like the style of game, but I think just off of the premise of how it all started, I'm like, I feel like you should kind of boycott it in a sense. But with that being said, though, apparently they did come to a settlement agreement with the artist.
They made nice with their person that they screwed over.
Yeah, no specific terms were disclosed, but it is widely assumed the settlement included compensation, which we haven't heard anything else about it since, so it must have been good enough. So, I mean, good for that artist. I'm glad that they got paid then.
And the overall art style, I think, is cool and interesting and unique. It's going to feel good. It's going to play well. It's Bungie. Like, the one thing they've still managed to do through all these years is make a really fun shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish it had some kind of single-player element. It's just multiplayer, so it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, well, I figure I thought Arc Raiders has been a pretty good time since I've played it with friends, and I always think that games like this probably fit a little bit better in a first person shooter mode. So I think that this would be one that I would hop into, just from the fact that, you know, Bungie hasn't made a bad first person shooter, so it seems like it could be a good time. So I don't know. Just didn't want to leave off without shouting that one out.
No, definitely. I did skip it, so I'm glad you went back and mentioned it. Okay. Well, thanks, guys. Sorry to just brush us off here, but wanted to make sure we could spend as much time as possible talking about all the games in here. Really exciting. Definitely kind of got me amped to just keep playing more games and knocking them off the list. And I'm looking forward to doing some experience points. So I'll get through the rest of the show we're watching right now, which I'm super pumped about. I've really enjoyed it so far, so I'm excited. I'll make sure to take some notes, and we'll do that episode here soon, I think, if you guys are down with that in the next couple weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've got some free Sundays,
make some more headway.
So the episodes aren't super long, so
no, they're just standard episodes. So
yeah,
really enjoying it so far. So excited to talk about that. So we will do that soon, and then we'll have to decide what we're going to do for an EXP with all these hanging threads out there that we want to do.
I know.
We'll go from there, but cool. Well, let's make a plan for next week, gentlemen. We'll let all our wonderful listeners, of course, thank you for the write-ins. We'll let you know what our topic is next Monday. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful, safe weekend, and we will catch you next week. Later.
See you guys. Stay safe.
Later.